Sofi Saint from Sofi Biz Advertisement and Marketing Group. I want to first take this opportunity to thank BT for the platform where we get to voice our views on hashtag de-escalate, don't kill. First, I want to send our condolences to Alton Sterling and Philando's family, and also the family of the officers that was killed in Dallas, Texas. No amount of condolences really ease the pain of when you lose a loved one. I know that it's very, very hard. So hearing I'm sorry or for your loss, it doesn't really do anything for them. It sometimes just bring up more hurt. But still want to send our condolences to those family. I believe we need to separate emotions from reality and facts right now. We have blacks that's so upset. We have whites that's also upset about what's going on. We have white people that's actually taking the side of the blacks, but it's not really taking sides. It's just humanity. It's just inhumane what's going on. To me, the civilians, we need the police. We need them to protect us from those civilians that are just not stable-minded. Those civilians that are serial killers. Those civilians that just don't have that mind frame to be honest and loyal. We need the police for that. So we need to not kill the police. But then the police got to understand, without the civilians and without the people that need them, just the same way the police need us. Because if they don't have no civilians and the police kill out all the civilians, they ain't going to have a job. So to me, this fighting back and forth is inhumane, and it's unnecessary. It's stupid. Really, really stupid. Now, to me, also, these are just my opinions. Before someone is hired to protect and serve, I know that they do background checks. I know that they do all these different trainings and send them to the academy. But maybe the people that are hiring them is not doing a good enough job. Maybe the ones at the top, the police commissioners and all of these that are bringing in these police officers, they're 2-year veteran and 3-year veteran and they're killing people. Maybe you're not doing a good enough job. Because if you're going to hire someone to protect and to serve, first of all, you should know if they ever had ties to a group that is racist. Whatever group that may be. A group that will kill blacks, a group that will kill whites. A type of person with that type of mentality. Remember, we wasn't born with hatred. We were trained to hate. That is something we were taught. With all the different things that we're going through in life and the different stages of life, that's what actually makes someone hate. The circumstances, their living conditions. Maybe a foster child. A foster child could be placed in, a black child could be placed in a white parent's home. And that white parent could only be having that child just for money. That black child can be raised by these white people to turn out to be a serial killer because he's being abused. But then it can also happen with a black child being in a black person's home. So we have to understand, check the backgrounds of these people, their mindset. They're not doing a good enough job, because someone that's going to do a video 30 days ago and just got transferred to Minnesota, and he was there talking about goons and, we have to keep these goons under control. That should not be a police officer. That should not be his mentality. So we have to ask ourselves, the judicial system and the people that are hiring the police, are they doing a good enough job? It's obvious people are going to want to retaliate. But at the same time, I don't see it right to retaliate on every officer. But the bad ones needs to be purged out. There are bad black people. There are bad white people. There are bad Hispanics. There's bad Asian. There's bad in every single race. But go through all these races, there's good too. If you travel back in your lifetime and see whoever did the worst to you, you might come out and see it's your own kind that did the worst to you. It might not be a white. Maybe a white is the one that helped. Maybe a black is the one that helped a white. Fighting, if we cut our skin, we all have the same exact color blood. We're all humans. I know it's repeated, it's repeated, it's repeated. A lot of people say they don't feel sorry for the police officers that was killed. But that's inhumane too. That's inhumane. I personally will say, if the police officers that pulled that bullet close range in Alton, just the same way they can dig up Alton's past, when you dig up the police past and see what he was involved in, the Ku Klux Klan, KKK, these ties right here, maybe he should be hung on a tree. But not every white officer should be hung on a tree. The one that pumped those bullets in that innocent guy, those are the ones. And someone's past does not predict their present and their future. But for you to, you might say, okay, well, you just say their past don't predict their future, but they took a life. So now we know that there's no help for them. They took another person's life because of the color of skin, and then they will always use this frame of mind that if you're a coward, first of all, you should not be in the police force. So we need to see what type of people that you're putting to be police officers, and maybe their past or their recent can tell you their mind frame. Having a bad day, you got to leave that out the door, police officer or not. So if they're tied to something, that a group that's causing any kind of harm or is promoting any kind of destructive behavior, they should not be on the force. Not because their father is the commissioner, their mother is this, no, they should not. And it goes for the black race also. I personally believe that they need to put more black police in the black communities and stop putting so many whites in the black community. Put the blacks where they belong. Put the whites where they belong. I'm not saying that every single cop got to be white in the black community, but put more of our kind in the community. We do have to understand that we're all created. We're all human beings. If I pump a bullet through a white cop, he's going to die. You pump a bullet through a black person, we're going to die. And the police force needs to stop demanding the police and them to do a certain amount of arrest, or else they come down on them. No, that is not right. That is forcing them to do what's wrong to innocent civilians because they're feeling threatened, that their job is at risk. My views on all of this is, let's stop concentrating on what happened and focus more on making sure it does not happen again. And the only way for it to not to happen again is for us to educate ourselves. Educate ourselves on exactly where do we go from here. I might not have the exact answer of where we go from here. You might not have the exact answer. But together, uniting quickly, we all can come up with a solution. My part on what I believe, I do believe that black police officers need to be more prominent in the black community. White police officers need to be prominent in a white community. Hispanic, where they can more correlate, where they can more, communicate, because it's their community. This is my views on to de-escalate and don't kill. I really believe there is a commandment in the Bible. Many people out there might say, where is God right now, and with all what's going on. But my views on it is the commandments say, thou shalt not kill. So if you got to do everything in your power to make sure that you don't get killed, and you don't have to take an innocent life because of the person's color. Whites are not better than blacks, in no way. And blacks are not better than whites. Asians are not better. We are all equal. Hispanics is not better. We're all equal. We were all born to live, and we all have the right to live. I will say, hashtag Black Lives Do Matter. Like, my point with everything with saying Black Lives Do Matter is if I'm in the middle of a march for HIV, for HIV, I can't go in the middle of that march and say, well, cancer does matter, because it's not a march for cancer. And it's the same thing people got to understand. All lives do matter. But at this point in time, we're focusing on how many of our black kings are being killed. So Black lives do matter. Every black child deserves to reach the age where they die naturally. The police should not have to kill them. And if it's so much of a big problem for a white police to deal with a black, put him in his white neighborhood and keep a black cop in the black neighborhood. That's my solution. Might not be yours. Get more black police in our black communities. Maybe that will help. Ta-ta. This is Sofi Saint from Sofi Biz Advertisement Marketing and Group, signing off and saying thank you again, BET, and I hope that we come up with a solution real quick.